French Shalom and greetings to you all. We're a month from the day of balance, the fall equinox. Probably no two dates in the year of greater cosmic significance than the spring and fall equinoxes. These are the days of choice because balance means we get to choose. Which way do we want to go? Forward, backward, to the light, to the dark? And it certainly looks like the world is moving to the dark. Freedom of religion, freedom of truth, freedom of speech, freedom periodically, all being systematically attacked and curtailed. It's an unseen war, but with repercussions greater than any other. Now, aside from the unseen war of freedom, there's a terrible war waging in the Middle East and now spreading throughout the world. And this one is not territorial. It is purely about existence and acceptance. It's not about bullets or terror, although both play a role. There's a war to eliminate the existence of Israel and Judaism, and there's a growing acceptance among the most gullible of society that this is okay. And as in any war, there's a terrible, unfortunate loss of life and suffering among civilians, and who wouldn't be emotionally triggered by that? But look beyond it. Look at the reality. Unfortunately, too many people ignore the fact that this war was started by a terror organization with one goal: Israel's destruction. This has led to an unprecedented rise of anti-Semitism like never before. Jews everywhere are now having to fight for their right to exist, to survive, to walk freely amongst the rest of society. This is becoming a global battle in which words are the greatest enemy, the words of haters. Free to spew their hatred while those with truth are often curtailed and stifled, society is at a tipping point when decency must stand and protect. And you will see in this week's reading that decency is an underlying theme. It has been a subtle cry since the generation of freedom, the wilderness generation, left the constraints of Egypt for the freedom we were all promised and which God intended for each and every one of you. We're also at a time of very dark anniversaries. We're in the grips of 9/11. It's coming up. It's one of those dates like the Kennedy assassination that you remember where you were. This was a terror attack to end the freedom of Western society as we know it. And here we are 25 years later. You know what? Take a good look. See who the winner really is. There are endings that bring new beginnings. And as this year ends, we're only a little over 2 weeks away from the annual new beginning. The beginning of the year, Rosh Hashanah, which means head of the year, but we tend to call it New Year's. We say Shana Tova, a phrase that means good year, not Happy New Year. And well, it's not really New Year's, even though the calendar was reset to coincide with it. It really represented the rest of the resetting of your soul year. There's a phrase that's used during this period of the high holy days, the days of awe, between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and that is Ketiva v'Chatima Tova, which means a good inscription and sealing. On Rosh Hashanah, 3 books are opened: the book of the righteous, the book of the evil, and the book of the intermediate. 2 are pretty obvious, and I know people in each, and you probably know people in each. Your name is inscribed in one of these books. You look at that mirror of self, you contemplate your life, your status, your standing, and on Yom Kippur, it is sealed. But you don't just contemplate, you take steps to fix. You have the 10 days before the seal to take any steps you need to take to change, to fix, to correct the path you've been on. A blink of an eye. You can move mountains. Now, I haven't read about it in the Bible because it's not referred to as Rosh Hashanah in the Torah. Its biblical name is Yom Teruah, a day of blasting, referring to horn blasting. The horn being the shofar. So why is this holiday, with no real name and no real purpose, listed as a significant holy day in the Torah? All we know is to be held on a specific day, the first day of the 7th month. That's all we know. Why? Well, you know what, friends? That is the month of Tishrei, which is the astrological sign of Libra. Don't forget, the months were named according to the zodiac. 7th month of the astrological year that begins in Nisan, the sign of Aries. As God tells Moses in Exodus, the calendar begins then, right, when Passover occurs. In Hebrew, Libra is Moznaim, which means scale. In ancient times, the scale was used by putting objects to be weighed on one side and stones and units of measurement on the other side, and that symbol of the scale and its importance was captured in many ancient societies. In ancient Egypt, when you died, your heart was weighed against a feather to determine the good or negative that you did, and your heart had to weigh less than the feather for it to be for the good. In modern times, we use digital scales. The visual effect of the traditional scale seeking balance has been lost, but the idea of the scale is to obtain balance. This is a holiday of horn blowing to call us to attention, to beware, to listen to the voice of God within, and to find that balance. And so the month of the scales of balance is so apropos. Now, in Rosh Hashanah, this metaphysical action takes place a couple of weeks away, when all our actions are being weighed. The good deeds, the bad deeds. The scales are examined according to how the scales tip. The decision is made. Who will live? Who will die? Who will be rich and who will be poor? This liturgy was actually so wonderfully captured by Leonard Cohen in one of his songs. And who by fire, who by water, who in the sunshine, who in the nighttime, who by high ordeal, who by calm and trial. Now, just a few weeks, we begin the 10 days of self-examination. It is the day when Jews the world over gather. Each takes their individual journey to the judge. Just as we gather, when we come together, as we do, celebrating common belief and faith, as a community, as a collective showing faith, because we need and desire to come together, where we create and have a sense of camaraderie, a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith. And we show any and all faith, love any and all love, because we are a true chavurah, a fellowship, as we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay, even though together. We're individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know. Some physically, the rest digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually. Any way at all to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, which basically is a call for us all to come together. Hine Matov ubenayu shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov ubenayu shevet achim gam yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Because we support each other in this community, and we are a community. So let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. And goodwill and intention are the roots of which you can control, of which you can correct. Your intention sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives, my friends. Let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal is for everyone. It flows through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everyone you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. Not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. It is the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. And a part of that healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everyone. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for those in need of assistance. We pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them, because we want health, recovery, good life for everyone around us and for those close to us. For dear Hannah, always ready to take the steps to heal, and who listens to her soul. For Polito, barely able to move, now in the land of Oz, feeling great. For the fairy godmother's return to earth, to the world of fear, away from the rhythm of relief that she had sought and attained, and we hope she finds again. For Tony, teaching people the rhythm of their lives. For Carson, always healing, always helping, always there when needed. For the one and only Leo. For Angelica, keeper of the calendar and time. And for Laura, Maria, Victoria, et al. For my pal. For Corey, Alan, and Sherry. For Gab. For Lorella. For Shelley. For Crystal, so clear on her direction of life. Crystal clear. For Lily, Giggles, and Wendy. For Alana. For Snoopy. For MW, Roberta. My dear friends, Anna and Winston, who I'll be seeing in a couple of weeks. And John and Fern. For John and Maria. For Doria. For Gloria. For Connie. For Ronnie. For Maya and Tally. For dear Nina. And for Danny and Linda. For all those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include all the familiars of our lives. All of our sacred animal friends everywhere. For everyone you know in need. For the whole world. And always. For Rosemary. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing, which is goodwill and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabera, Avotenu, Makor HaBracha, Limotenu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing. We call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Misha Barak, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. But for now, this week we read tetze, when you go forth. When you look at the myriad of topics covered this week, female captives, the rights of the firstborn, laws concerning sexual relations, the law of levirate marriage. Again, you can see how this could very well have been a book written by a king as ordered. Just a quick summary of laws we'd already seen. And like so many of the readings, there are things to note, and there were minor changes. And it could be that there's minor changes because time changes all memory. Time passes slowly up here in the daylight. We stare straight ahead. Try so hard to stay right like the rose of summer. It blooms in the day. Time passes slowly and fades away. What you have probably noticed, and what you're going to see again right away, is that much of the book of Deuteronomy, the retelling of the law, is concerned with rules of decency and humanity. And that's just so important. Now, I've always been struck by the beginning of this section, Deuteronomy 21:11. When you go forth to war and see among the captives a woman of comely features, and you desire to take her to be your wife. There's two things about that. The first is the phrase comely features. It's a very interesting one. The same appellation is attached to Joseph in Genesis 39, when the captive Hebrew becomes the object of his Egyptian mistress's lustful gaze. And again, we look for where, it's a study of where we find words that are only used once or in another section of the Bible, that there has to be a relationship between them. Throughout the ancient Mediterranean world, captive women of vanquished peoples were assumed to be the due sexual prerogative of the victors. I'm sure you all remember the taking of Briseis by Agamemnon from Achilles at the beginning of the Iliad, and how it began the cascade. And how unfortunate that the Odyssey didn't, make any reference to any of those things. Now, perhaps this attitude has permeated through time till even recently. Anyhow, this law now exceptionally seeks to provide for the human rights of the woman who falls into this predicament. The warrior is in love. He wants her as his wife. That's the second thing to notice. It says so. It says as his wife. So he can't treat her like a slave to be sold. He can't receive money for her from anyone else. And you'll notice the words for degrading her and letting her go are the same words used to describe the Egyptians' degrading of Israel and then letting Israel go in Exodus. And because you want to marry her, you bring her into your house, not as a concubine, but as a wife with all of the rights and privileges and obligations. And you start by giving her 30 days to mourn the loss of her family. There are rules. The Israelite soldier is not permitted to rape her. He may take her as a wife. If he takes her as a wife but then rejects her, he has to let her go completely free. He cannot treat her like a slave to be sold. So many of the things we read in Western classical literature or even older Egyptian wisdom literature has its own origins with biblical writings. Biblical writings are not just religious based. They offer so much more. They are offering us insights, not just into ritual, but into ethics, into morality. Now, the brilliant British mathematician philosopher Bertrand Russell, a name you never hear anymore, once said, "Religion is based, I think, primarily and mainly upon fear. It is partly the terror of the unknown, and partly the wish to feel that you have a kind of elder brother who will stand by you in all your troubles and disputes. Fear is the basis of the whole thing. Fear of the mysterious, fear of defeat, fear of death. Yes, so much of religion is based on fear. But you must not let fear rule you. And do not make fear your religion." Look past that in your reading of this great living testament to man's relationship with creation. We keep seeing fear throughout these pages, but we also see rules for life, and more are based on love, kindness, decency, the way to live life. Israel learns from its experience of enslavement. Israel not only celebrates its own release, but it learns to have compassion for others as well, all others. And it's all stated here in Deuteronomy 22:1. "You shall not see your brother's ox or a sheep slipping away and ignore them. You shall surely return them to your brother. And if your brother's not close to you, and you don't know who he may be, you shall gather it into your house, and it shall be with you until your brother inquires for it, and you return it to him. You must care for your brother and his property." We're all brothers, right? Hey, when it says to us, you may not know who he is. It's because it's not referring to your sibling. It's referring to the fact that we are all brothers. The obligation exists to return lost goods. The road is long, with many a winding turn, that leads us to who knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong enough to carry him. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. In the midst of these wonderful reminders about decency and kindness is the reminder of the law of succession. There's a section in here that deals with having more than one wife and the treatment of the children. Deuteronomy 21:15. Should a man have two wives, one beloved, one hated? The beloved one and the hated one bear him sons. The firstborn son be the hated ones. It shall be on the day he grants estate to his sons of what he has, meaning he dies, he shall not be able to make the beloved one's son the firstborn over the firstborn son of the hated one. This talks of the maintenance of the laws of inheritance, and that rules in place cannot be changed just because you prefer one to another. Now, of course, all the patriarchs were guilty of this, every single one of them. So this must be a do what I say, not what I do kind of rule. But the rule of inheritance is very specific. Firstborn. So you can't pick and choose. Like I say, all the patriarchs are guilty. Now, another rarely seen law, the law of the levirate marriage, is mentioned in Deuteronomy 25:5, in which a brother must marry the widow of his dead brother, and yes, it is still done. Not as frequently, but it is done. And if you want to know more about it, there is an incredible Hallmark film called Loving Leah, which gives a beautiful modern story of how this works. It's a fantastic film. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free. Honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace, for freedom for everyone, an end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together, we celebrate with each other, we love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive, learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe. Remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. It's our intention. Our Kavana, our cause, our effect, everything's linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad. Acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate yourself, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. Keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing. Keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. I love shining. And please work to be present in the body. Expand the heart. Quiet the mind. Because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone is always there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. Because we share together. We learn together. We help each other, because we are each of us simply trying to find love and acceptance and support in this life. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. You're never alone on your journey. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Listen to the voice of God as he talks to you, because he's talking to you all the time. Remember your connection to God and all that's been created. And if you don't like the word God, call it spirit, call it creator, call it whatever you want. But all that's been created in the universe, in body and soul and mind and spirit, it's a part of you, it's a part of me, it's a part of all of us. It's a part of your pets. It's a part of the trees, the grass. It's a part of everything forever. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. And as you get ready to examine yourself and choose between light and dark, good and bad, there is always light. One more night. The stars are in sight. But tonight, I'm as lonesome as can be. Oh, the moon is shining bright, lighting everything in sight. But tonight, no light will shine on me. Friends, even in the darkest days, the light will always shine on you. Thank you for joining me. Celebrate freedom and love, and let the world know that you walk in faith and in trust in yourself and in spirit. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.